What's happening, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. Blessed to be here, man, in your space.
Well, you know, this is where we make all the magic happen.
Absolutely.
All right, what's up with the trucker hat? What's up?
You know what? This is my...
You feeling a little Darius Rucker?
Man, I am. You know, makes a little bad boy of gospel on it a little bit. But, nah, I would say, I think I got the king hat on today, right?
Huh?
I got a king hat on today.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like a king today. That's why I wear this trucker hat.
So, man, let's talk about where gospel is today. It's very. I love all these different categories. I love when I hear urban contemporary, neo gospel.
Okay, now you're going.
Tradition. I mean, you start hearing all these different phrases. So, what lane do you believe that you fit in?
What a question. What a question after you talk about my rebel hat. You know what's funny, Roland? Last week somebody introduced me. It was on like a Thurgood Marshall event here for scholarships here in D.C. And they introduced me and said, American Urban Contemporary Gospel Artist. Longest title, weirdest title I ever heard in my life. But that's how they introduced me. American Urban Contemporary Gospel Artist. I said, okay, fine. All of it's true, a little bit. But I hate the idea of being boxed into a title.
Right.
Anyway, and I love the fact that even with gospel right now, we're kind of getting rid of all of these very boxed in titles, and people are just presenting inspiration at the level that they feel or that they're inspired to do it, or how they tick. I like that. Bless you. I feel like for me, some days I'm super urban and I'm a rebel. Other days, you know, catch me on the choir road with a choir in front of me. Other days, I'm spirituals and hymns and real, you know, classical. That's my base. Other days, I want to wild out and I want to be a thug. And all of it is me, and it's all authentic, and it's all okay. And I think there's room for all of it. So I'm gonna answer your question by saying, like, yeah, don't give me no title. Just let me be who I am every day. Right. And if that meets you where you are today, then I did my job.
Well, I think it's always interesting when, if you go to a gospel concert. Because you got the real traditional folk.
You do.
I mean, you got the elder on the front bench, church usher.
Come on.
Wearing the white gloves, walking in.
The lap scarf.
With on beat. Side. You got those folks.
It's my childhood.
Then you got just a whole new generation that ain't tripping on wearing suits and big church hats. Right. And they are praising, worshiping in a different way.
Sure.
And the reality is, you're supposed to meet folk where they are.
100%.
And I think a lot of times, folks are driven away.
Because of the boxes?
Yeah.
Because of the stigma?
Because of the boxes, the rules.
Absolutely.
You can only do this, and you can only do this, and
100%.
You can't do this. And so, to me, that limits, frankly, the gospel.
Sure, no, 100%. You actually said something my mother says to me like every week when I go out. She says, Anthony, write songs that meet people where they live. And that's always been my thing from day one, Roland, is to write songs that meet people where they live. Well, now we are ministering to a generation that's like Jesus loves me and my tattoos. So some of them still want traditional, but there's a scripture in the Bible that I love the reference about this where Paul said, I become all things to all men that I might save some. In other words, be as authentic as you are, and there's somebody who needs that, the way that you have it.
I remember reading a story, and it was a guy, and he was ministering to bikers,
Bikers.
To bikers, and he was talking about how I approach them. He said I can't approach them sitting here quoting scripture and hitting them left and right, and it was how he dressed. He also was on the bike as well.
Gotcha.
People were like, oh my goodness,
There you go.
like how dare you? And he said, I'm sorry, me having a leather jacket on and riding this motorcycle, and yes, on the outward, oh my goodness, you're just this wild rebel. He said, no. I know him on the inside. And it was an amazing story because he said, if I'm trying to reach that person,
Absolutely.
I have to do so in a way where they are comfortable with me as opposed to me trying to approach them and making them uncomfortable.
Absolutely. He who wins souls is wise. You know, the audiences that I've been blessed to be a part of are like the ones you just described. Like, I'm a son of a Baptist preacher. So church is what I know. I understand the culture of it. However, I live in the 2023 real world. As a black man in America, I have that experience to bring to the table. I feel like you'd be doing yourself a disservice by trying to fit yourself in a box. You're gonna leave somebody out. And I think all that we do in gospel music is bait. So it's bait for some fishes out there. Just because it might not be what you would grab a hold of doesn't mean it's useless or that it doesn't have merit. Somebody needs it the way that you have it. Mm-hmm. Somebody else needs it the way somebody else has it. All of it works to me. And I feel like you should just be your authentic self and you'll get the fish you're supposed to.
So how do you deal with that when you at First Baptist? When you've got different services,
Sure.
different people, and you just may want to just go, then Pastor Jenkins is like,
Absolutely.
I mean, have you ever got that look from Pastor Jenkins like,
Man,
Anthony?
Probably from day one. First of all, Roland knows my church. Shout out to my pastor, Pastor Jenkins, and my church, First Baptist, Glen Arden. Absolutely, I came there 15 years ago with a mohawk. He was from day one. He was like, "What is
Came
this?"
in with a mohawk?
I came in with a mohawk. That was like my day one. I had a mohawk, and after I got on stage with a mohawk, then a whole bunch of young kids started to get mohawks, and then some of the older deacons too. That's when he was like, "Yo, get that mohawk out of here." But to your point, I feel like I know how to go into any environment and be what that environment needs. And that's the wise part about it. When it says he who wins souls is wise. Just because I am a rebel don't mean I'm gonna come to the First Baptist Church of Glen Arden on stage and just turn up and lose the people. Like, nah, you should be wise about how you approach it. So when I go there, can I clean it up, put on a suit, put on a choir robe, direct the choir? Yes, every Sunday. When I leave there on Sunday night, if I'm going to a club in Detroit to perform, I'm gonna turn up, bring out the chain, throw on the hat. But all of it's me. I'm not putting on for anybody. It's all me.
Yeah, but at the time when you like, okay, I'm gonna slide in and
Absolutely.
a little something here.
Absolutely, 100% at First Baptist. And you know what's funny? Where you think Pastor Jenkins would like reject that? He'd be up there dancing with me, right side by side, doing a B.O.B. bounce on stage, which is what I love. So no, I don't get no flack from him. I don't get no flack for him.
Came with a mohawk.
Yes, sir. He gonna love this part of the interview when he sees this. Mohawk
He was
out.
like, absolutely not.
He looked at me like, okay, what is this or whatever, but he never turned me down for those reasons. Once he heard my gift, it was the gift that outshined the outward appearance, and I think that's what people, get hung up on. They see people, how they look,
right.
They write them off. He didn't do that to me.
Because there are a lot of head of music and pastor battles.
Man, oh my goodness.
I know you've heard some
We
horror
ain't got
stories.
time for the conversation in this meeting. Horror stories. But the funny part about it is those two things are the elements people come to church for.
Right.
They come for a good word, they come for good music. So it behooves us to be able to work together. And I think Pastor Jenkins has done an amazing job with that. I love my church experience.
Who have you studied in terms of, so two. One being minister of music in the church. Is there anybody you studied where you said, man, I just like how they do it, how they present it, just how they flow?
Absolutely. One of my biggest inspirations in that realm is Marette Brown Clark. She's a gospel artist as well. She has managed to be able to be a gospel artist out here, saving the world through her music ministry, but also faithful to her local church. For me, that was always important, Roland. I always wanted to feel like I had, I know I have a local call to my local assembly and a global call. You don't see a lot of examples of people who can do both or that even think both are important, but I don't think I would want to have one without the other. I think people who have the global call part down don't have the anchor of a pastor, a leader, and a solid foundation at home that I think sometimes is necessary to make sure you don't go too far out there. Then on the flip side, having a local church is great for me, so that when I do go out there and I do my global call, I know there's always somebody back at home. If they reject me, if they hate me, if they don't like what I did tonight, when I go back home, it's gonna be like cheers, where everybody knows your name. I'm back home. You know what I mean?
Now on the global call, who have you really liked, admired, either growing up or even present day, where you said, I vibe with that person?
So I think, what people call the GOAT in gospel, of course, is a great example. Kirk Franklin is definitely one of the greatest to ever do it. And he's seemed to be able to be relevant in the culture, but still be undeniably who he is as a Christian, as a believer. Very authentic. I think that I love that. When it comes to presentation, I think Donald Lawrence is like the most classic picture of just being true to your art. Like, he's been my biggest inspiration when it comes to just being true to your art. Like, the trends of music come and go, but if this is who you are, be that. Know that there's an audience that loves that. He's the consistent, bar for that to me. So I would throw out those two names for sure.
How important is it to be a student of the craft? When young folk come up to me and they say, man, I want to do what you do. Then my response is, but do you want to do what I do?
Gotcha.
And then because when I throw that out, for a lot of them, they look at me like I'm crazy, and I'm going, if you want to be really great, not popular, not want to be seen in airports and taking selfies, for me, it is study the craft.
Ooh.
And you actually never stop learning.
Never.
That to me. So talk about why that is so valuable, studying the craft.
Oh, I feel like
whether it's songwriting, whether it's singing, whether it's stage presentation, whether it's choir directing, any of that.
Right. Even though I feel like every person is unique in nature, you are still following the blueprint that somebody else laid out in some way, shape, or form. People who don't study their craft, to me, just are blowing in the wind. You really just wanted a platform. You didn't want necessarily to be a part of the building of a particular thing. And for me, I feel like with gospel music, you're a part of a legacy that was already established. Right. So it's great for me to be unique in what I present. I'm not saying don't do that, but I am saying it'd be great to know, what did the Caravans do at the height of their career?
Right.
That grabbed the attention of people. What did the Hawkins do? What was it that made them be what they are? What did Donnie McClurkin do? What did Mary Mary do? So for me, studying the craft as a kid was, growing up, this was vinyls. I'm about to date myself a little bit, because this was not CDs yet. It was still records. That's what I grew up in. My household, my daddy was playing records. But I wanted to read that information. When CDs came out, I wanted to read them credits. Who is doing this stuff, and what's their story? That's always been my thing. And to your point, I never stopped doing that, because I feel like if one day, 20 years from now, somebody turns one of my CDs over and reads it, I want them to know a little bit of my story and study that and help that to become a compass to where they go into their job.
I just saw an interview Ice-T did, where he talked about that. He talked about when albums were done.
Yes.
And he said where everything was a liner notes, and you studied who was the sound engineer and the mixer and who played this instrument on that piece. And he said that whole album told a story.
Wow.
And to me, that's how I look at in terms of studying the craft.
Yes, sir.
There's a bunch of folk who can sing.
Right.
But how do you take care of your voice? How do you make it better? Jeffrey Osborne said to me during COVID, because they couldn't tour or whatever, he started taking voice lessons again. And he said,
wow.
He said, I hadn't taken voice lessons in 20, 30 years. He said, but this was an opportunity. And here's Jeffrey, 70, 71.
Right, I'm about to say, yeah.
It was, I want my voice to get better. That to me is what I tell people about studying the craft. Forget the success, the money, the fame, all that sort of stuff like that. That means that you want to be as great as you possibly can be.
All the way.
And that means putting the work in.
First of all, I'm so glad you said that. I'm looking at you, sitting across from you, and you've been doing this thing for a long time. To me, that means that you've also given me your chance not only to learn the craft, but to evolve. And evolution, I think, is important in any artist's life or career. So, like, at the height of things with Worth, if I just stop there, if I just sit on the laurel of what that was, then I stop evolving, I stop growing, and I think that that was all that I could produce. Well, I'm still living, and that experience is still happening. So the next record, I'm not trying to live up to that mountain anymore.
Right.
Let's go on the journey of who I'm becoming today.
Right.
And there are people who want to go along on that journey. I think that is so important if you ever want to be the Roland Martin of gospel music.
See, I think when I get the measurement, I play golf, and I played golf for 35 years.
Do you?
And oh, absolutely,
Gotcha.
absolutely. It's a putting green right there. We keep right. It's a 9-foot putting green.
Y'all
right
can't
there.
see it, but it's
a
over.
9-foot putting green right there. I got the exact same one in my house.
Done deal. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. And I was talking to somebody about this, and they said, "Well, do you gamble playing golf?" And I said, sometimes we may play for, dollar a hole or whatever. But then this is what I told them. I said, the beauty of golf is you're actually competing against yourself. There are no teammates. It's not me against you. You're actually competing against yourself.
Against yourself.
And that is, I shot this score. What's my best score?
Right.
How low can I go?
Right.
And I sort of look at it the same way. I don't look at other people. I don't look at what somebody else is doing and say, okay, we're competing against them. No, my deal is I'm actually competing against myself. So if my standard is here, if I'm trying to go here, then they got nothing to do with you.
Right.
So I don't care what you're doing.
Right.
Because this is what I'm actually competing against.
I love that.
And so for you, when you are on that stage, when you're writing, when you are singing, how are you trying to measure yourself?
Man, sorry, I'm just chewing on what you just said. Because this is an area where a lot of people struggle. And I'm sorry, I'm about to bring it back to the Bible again. Pastor Jenkins, you be proud of me. Where there's a scripture that talks about this, don't look to the left or the right. Now, the comparison is the thief of joy. That exists in every kind of demographic. But for us as gospel artists and musicians, there's always a new hot next. In music, period, there's always a new hot next. So if you let the people's praise of you one day dictate who you are the next day, you're gonna ebb and flow with how they feel about music, and that changes every day. My marker I set for myself is so different from that. What I try to do, to your point, is just literally figure out the last time I did this song, this is how I felt, and this is how people responded. What can you do differently about this song to grab a hold of another person in that audience? I think we were just together at one of the tour stops, and the people my goal is this, here's my goal. How can I create this song, this moment, this thought in music in such a way that you take it and you own it and it becomes yours? So if every time that I sing songs that God has given me, I have to be the one to deliver the message, then I feel like that's my marker. I'm trying to figure out for you to sing this song like it's yours, and let me just stand there and let you have your moment.
So when y'all did your hit song,
when I got that, you know, my turn up.
You were trying to move on.
Was I ever?
And they
I
were
was done.
When you done?
They was not finished.
They like, we ain't done.
The song is theirs. It's their experience. It's their life. It met them where they live, like my mother said. And for me, that's an indicator that I'm hearing my assignment right.
Now you could have stopped it. Because again, and I've seen some artists who are like, look, I got other stuff I want to sing. I want to go on. Right. To me, it's akin to if you are a preacher, and I saw this once, actually I've seen it a couple times, where the praise and worship was so powerful that the preacher never got to the sermon. Now, that takes an ego-less person.
Ooh, talk, sir.
To go, the moment is so powerful that it ain't about me and my sermon. That what I need to do is flow in the spirit, and wherever it takes me, that's where we go, as opposed to me shutting it down. And then now trying to go here, and I may never be able to recapture that moment. That, to me, I think also happens if you're on stage.
100%. And for us, if I'm a servant, that if you're getting what you need, then that was the goal. If you're getting what you need, then that was the goal. So that day, I think we had maybe 3 or 4 songs to do. We only got through 2.5. But the people who came, what they needed was that. And I'll make sure they got it. Go ahead and drink from that. If we're there and you're getting what you need, drink from that. Next time you see me, then we'll keep going. I think it was Donald, it might have been Donald Lawrence. No, it was Donald Lawrence that always told us, always leave them wanting more. So if that's all you got for me the next time, the next time I'll come back and give you a little bit more.
And the thing, to me, I think the thing about the moment in gospel music, again, it might be a praise song, it might be a worship song, and I remember I was at Salem Baptist Church. I was a member when I was there.
Man.
And it was all kind of stuff that was happening. And it was, this when I was at CNN. It was Time Journal Morning Show. It was like all these different, it was like stuff that was just happening. And I remember church was over and the choir was still going.
Gotcha.
And I was just standing there, just in it. And Walter, who is the head of music, he walked over to me. He said, one, I could pray with you. He said, but I could sense you needed to hear what the choir was doing. And I wasn't paying attention to who was around me. I didn't care. We were done. And we may have been at least 15, 20 minutes, and the choir was still going.
At the church.
Right. So again, it's that's the power to me of the music.
Absolutely.
Where you don't know who's going through something.
Absolutely.
But they need that at that moment, at that time, in that place.
I see that has to be the goal. You know, if you decide you're going to go on an inspiration, celebration, gospel tour, the goal is to make sure people leave inspired, that they can celebrate. That's the point. So if I don't get through all of my songs or my set, if that's my indicator, then it's about me.
Yep.
But I'm a servant. I'm a servant to this thing. And that's whether you're at church or whether you're in the biggest venue possible. The goal is to make sure that the audience that's coming gets what they need. You're a servant to that.
Have you, I'm sure you have, walked to that stage and this is my set list, but then the room starts speaking to you. And then you get that look like, we ain't doing that.
We're about to go another way.
Just follow me. I got to go here.
Yes, sir. And that's probably scary for a lot of people because that's so off the beaten path. For people who need organization and structure, and from here to there, that dynamic will not only mess them up, it'll probably also ruin the moment. Because then you're just gonna move on from a moment that people actually need. Me, because I'm a bit of a radical, I thrive in that environment. Because for me, again, as a servant to the people, I'm gonna make sure you get what you need.
So it's like, I have the same approach. I don't write speeches. So like literally.
You don't write speeches?
No, don't write speeches.
So you're asked to come and speak, you're literally gonna speak from your heart.
Yeah, they might give me the theme, whatever.
Wow.
I'll take it under consideration.
Gotcha.
But I may go somewhere else.
Got it.
And when I say I gave a speech in Florida, this woman came up to me. She had a black paper. She's like, "Oh my God!" She says, "We want to run your whole speech in the paper." I was like, "Y'all better transcribe it."
Oh man, good luck.
And she was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Baby, that sucker wasn't written." She's like, "Well, can I get your notes?" I was like, "What no notes?"
I'd rather know.
She said, "You didn't have any index card, no notes?"
Nothing.
I was like, "Nope."
See?
She said, "Well, did you write the title down?" Nope.
See?
And so literally, so there have been moments, a lot of times again, where I'm sitting there, and again, I'm not waiting to speak, and again, I might be taking pictures or whatever. But I remember this one time I was sitting there, and I knew something, and I was like, "Yo, I didn't want to be bothered." And they would come to me like, "Hey, you want something to drink?" "No, I'm fine." "Want something to eat?" "No, I'm fine." And I was and I was just like, it was just like, "What's he doing?" I'm like, "Wait till I get that microphone." I mean, it was.
I got something I got to get out of
right.
me.
Now I'm talking about.
Yes.
Was lighting them up, and then it was so funny because I'm telling I knew when I stepped up, I knew what was going to happen.
Right.
When I got to the microphone. In fact, I think I spoke in Virginia. I was his sister. She's supposed to do a gospel song after me. She's like, "I'm so happy to be here." She says, "They got me to sing." I said, "You don't want to do that." She's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "You don't want to sing that song
Not
after I get done."
Yeah, not.
She's like, "No, it's fine." I said, "No, it's not." I said, "I'm telling you
I'm
what's
giving you
going
the
to
heads
happen."
up, right?
when I finish.
Man.
So I suggest you sing that song before I speak.
Got you.
I said, because when I get done, I'm going to clear the room.
But see, that's the confidence of knowing.
And that was just like, I'm just letting you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, so I knew it was like, I was like, I'm telling you. So she sang before I did.
She did it before.
She sang before,
Okay.
and then it was over. She like, man, I'm so glad you. She was like, and I said,
Yo, kudos to you for letting her know, man. Like, no.
I try to tell them to give the awards out, and I tell people that's not being cocky, it's not being arrogant, but when you know a word is being placed in your spirit,
Absolutely.
and you know what you gonna do, it's like I'm telling y'all.
It would be a bad idea for y'all to put.
Don't put nothing behind me. We need only thing should follow me is the benediction.
The benediction and go home.
That's it. Don't put stuff behind.
But you know what? And now, I mean, I'm glad you said that though, because for artists and even for people who do what we do, entertainment space, who are watching this, it's good for you to know that there's always preparation. There's always, be prepared. No, study, absolutely. Learn all that you can. But then there's also this inherent knowing that everybody has if you tune in and listen on the inside, when just something will drop in your spirit that you know is for that environment, for that moment, for that time. And that's what you should be dialing into. Past the study, past the set list, past the whatever. No, tune in to what's going on inside of you. Because most times, whatever needs to happen as the reason why you're there for that event is already happening inside of you. You know how many people, Roland, miss the moment that they went somewhere or why they went because they won't tune in
That's
to what
why
they're being told?
When they try to take me to a room, I said no.
See?
Every time
You want to be in the atmosphere.
we got a room for you. I'm like, I'm fine.
Now I hear
And
you.
I literally will. No, I won't. I want to stay in.
I need to feel this.
They don't understand.
Yes,
it's
sir.
total discernment, and I'll tell them no. And they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine." But I don't want to sit. I want to stand in that room.
Yes.
And I want to feel it, and I want to see it, and all those spirits that are moving and flowing.
Absolutely.
And they're speaking the whole time. I did a meet and greet it was in Portland, Oregon. I did a meet and greet. And I'd already sort of decided what I was going to speak on. But it was something a woman said to me in line. The moment she said it,
See?
I threw that out my brain. And I took that, it was something she said, and I literally put together an entire speech based on what she said.
Based on what she said.
And what was crazy is, and I always use this line, and it is really for the point of getting people to laugh. I talked about how, I said, they sent me, we had a call, they sent me all this sort of stuff. Mm. I said, but I ain't paying attention to that. Room started laughing, and then I said, so as I'm thinking about it, so I'm laying this whole thing out. So this guy in front, he's hot. I mean, he's hot. Mm. He was the leader of the group. I mean, his whole body language, his whole. Tight. But see, what we didn't realize is I picked up on that body language earlier.
Got you.
And I didn't like his spirit when I met him.
Got you.
And so now I'm at the microphone, so I'm purposely tweaking him.
Oh man, he's burning up.
And I'm talking about burning up. I'm talking about just. I mean, I could feel it and sense it. I just kept turning that knife. So when it was over, he gets the speaker's bureau and they say, "Wait, we need to talk to you because this guy said that you were rude, that you didn't take pictures of people." I was like, "Baby, he lying." The woman was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I guarantee you lying." I said, "I always stay." I said, "Unless I literally have to go."
Right.
I said, "I guarantee you he lying. Guarantee he lying." And they want him, and it was all kinds of stuff. It was total lie. And so that's why.
See.
I want when I'm in that place, I want to know, I want to feel it. I want to.
100%. Don't be mad when my light frustrates your demons. It's not me you don't like. You don't like this light that God gave me to shine on whatever's dark in here. That's all that was. But that's why you just said something that I love about. That's the antithesis of what most artists experience. So, you want to get to the point where one day somebody's whisking you away to a special little green room off the beaten path where you can't hear nothing, bringing you green M&Ms and whatever. But that isolates you in such a way where you have no idea what environment you're walking into.
Yep.
So no wonder you walked out. You're doing your set list, but nobody's responding because you have no idea what happened before you got there, what's happening after you get there. It's important for you to be dialed in enough to be like, no, let me figure out who's coming. So I know for this tour, I love all the artists who are on the tour. I love them already anyway. So I want to see their set anyway. But knowing how that set is going, seeing the picture that's painted is important because that's a great way for you to figure out, no, I'm not about to flip the mood right here.
Right.
There's already a mood happening right
go.
now. Why would I come in and just shift the whole mood on something else? Because my set list is that, nah, tune in. Stop being so grand.
If there was a, there you go. If there was a gospel versus.
Oh my God.
And it's not, and I tell people all the time, it's not a question of you're competing against somebody
Sure.
else. But if that was how I sort of see it, a gospel versus, because I believe it's sort of like when Sam Cooke and the Soul Stirrers and the Gospel Caravan, all them cats, Dixie, when them cats travel, they were like, you know, we're about to kick y'all behind tonight.
Yeah.
So it pulled the best out of them. Who would you love to do a gospel versus with?
Ooh. First of all, I'm thinking about verses because I love that platform.
You got a mic on that side.
One stage.
And it could be an individual or a group, but that would just be crazy for the audience.
For the audience, man. Oh man, that is a crazy question. I have no idea. You know, I would think from the group aspect, it would be somewhere along the lines of like the Walls group.
Okay.
Just because group-wise, like, you know, people like to hear the harmonies and whatnot that we produce and that we sing. I have great love and admiration for them. So it wouldn't be a competition. It'd be an honor thing. Same thing with Donald Lawrence and Richard Smallwood and these guys. We are because of them.
Got it.
So, I mean, that would be like a landslide. They would win because I would honor them so much. Like, there's nothing I can do with you. But I think people would love to see that. People would love to see it.
All right, last question. So when we talked to Bree.
Yes.
She struggled mightily because I made a reference to.
She struggled mightily.
She struggled mightily.
Sorry, Bree.
I made first of all, because she asked me not to ask you or Hezekiah. She's like, oh, they gonna know. But she wanted me to ask everybody else. Okay. And some of the people failed the same test, so I'm holding Bree's black card right now.
Okay, very good.
It's in review status. Because I was talking and I made a reference to Commodores and Zoom. And she had no idea what I was talking about.
Like she didn't know what the Commodores were at all?
No, she didn't know she ain't never heard of Zoom. She didn't know that.
Okay.
Then I said Lionel Richie. She thought I meant Little Richard.
That's not true.
Straight.
Roll the clip. No,
Straight
go
up.
ahead.
Now then we played the song. Oh yeah, I heard the song. But like literally it was kind of like, I don't know who that is.
Okay.
And then she was like, yeah, I don't know. Then I said, LTD Jeffrey Osborne. No. She was like, Jeffrey Osborne ain't black. He can't be black with last name Osborne. That's literally what she said. She said, call LTD Larry, Tom, and Dick. She was
playing.
No.
She was joking.
No.
Roll the clip.
No. Bree literally was like,
okay.
I don't know who them people are.
That's before generation, though.
But I told her, I said, hold up. I said, you know some gospel people before your generation. Then she blamed it on her dad and said,
wouldn't let him listen to that.
He should have played the music, whatever.
Yes,
but I was sitting there, but I said, baby, listen, you gon'.
Come on, Roland, give her a little bit of benefit of the doubt.
Nope.
I grew up in a household too. We didn't listen to secular music in my household
But you know who the Commodores are.
I know who the Commodores are.
You know who Lionel Richie is.
I know who Lionel Richie is.
You know who LTD is.
I know who LTD is.
You know who Jeffrey Osborne is.
I know who Jeffrey Osborne is.
That's what I'm saying. I told her, I said, and I think Doe.
Oh, man.
Let me see. Doe, and it's one of the Walls group, the other ones, they all be, I said, all y'all need to go to black music class.
Oh, my goodness.
All of them.
Give them a break.
They got to go to black music class.
Give them a break.
No breaks.
Roland's being hard body on y'all, okay? Wherever y'all at, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be with y'all. But if you grew up in a household like some of us did, like, no, there wasn't no secular music out there. But I did learn those things.
I told them they got to catch up.
All right, they do.
I'm like, go to black night class.
Yeah. What's them jokes that be on social media where it's like, you know, you get 1 point for everyone that you know? They ain't getting no points though.
No, they ain't getting no points. Typically with those, I get 22, 23. Yeah, they ain't getting no points.
Got it.
Yeah, I told all of them,
Lord Jesus.
y'all have homework.
Help them, Jesus.
Yeah.
They didn't know the elements. Come on, everybody knows the elements. This is real music we're talking about. The elements known as
I didn't
earth,
ask
wind,
about
and
Earth, Wind, and Fire. You don't have to do that.
Okay, I'll ask them.
But they had no idea.
Wow.
Literally. And then we play, oh yeah, I heard the song. Oh yeah, I heard that song. I was like, learn who's singing it.
Okay, done deal.
Learn who's singing the song.
Done
That's
deal.
what I told him.
I'm done with this whole interview. I gotta go find my people.
Yes.
Y'all embarrassing us on the world stages right now.
Yes, on the McDonald's tour show. Look, I said, look, while you eating your Big Mac or your quarter pounder,
there you go.
You be listening to Zoom.
Don't worry.
A love ballad.
I'm gonna fix them because my next set, I'm gonna put an EWF reference in there, and everybody gonna know. We're gonna all learn it while we're on this McDonald's Inspiration Celebration.
Okay. All right, do that.
Hold me to it.
Do that.
Hold me to it.
Do that. There you go. Or throw in love ballad or something.
Something.
That they.
I got him. I'll take care of them.
They had no
Give me a break. I'm gonna go get them. Don't worry.
You got it?
I got it.
Okay.
That's
All
my
right.
assignment.
Oh, that's your assignment.
That's my assignment.
All right, appreciate it. Educate him.
I got him.